So we heard a little bit about your background, and you've done so many amazing things and stood up to at least one of the most powerful companies in the world to make real change. But tell us a little bit about how your personal experience that has sparked your focus on maternal health.
Yeah, it was really just through my pregnancy. I thought I had a healthy, kind of uneventful pregnancy. I knew that I wanted to continue to run, and so I trained throughout. I was running, I was in the pool, I felt really strong and great. And I went to the doctor at 32 weeks for just a routine checkup. And at that point, my doctor was concerned. She wanted to monitor me further. And so she did, and that turned into me being admitted to the hospital. I was told that I had a severe case of preeclampsia. At that point, I did not even know what that meant. I'm a professional athlete, well-educated. I felt like I had excellent medical care. And so to be sitting there in the hospital and realizing that something is really wrong was terrifying to me. And over the course of that night, things just started to get worse, and more complications came forward, and I was rushed in for an emergency C-section. And I am so grateful that I made it through that, and I spent the next week trying to recover my blood pressure and all of those things, and my daughter spent the next month in the NICU with her own fight. And we all walked out of the hospital together. And I feel so grateful because my eyes were just opened. And I know that so many families, that's not the case. There's so many mothers who don't survive to raise their children. And so
Especially
it was
Black mothers. Right?
Black mothers, yes. It was that personal experience that just showed me the reality of giving birth and being a Black woman here in America, and that it's more dangerous for me to give birth than it was for my mother. And that's just wild to me.
It really is wild. But yeah, 2.6 times Black women are more likely to experience mortality through having a baby. It's stunning. So you're doing so much work in this space. What does the future look like if you're successful? And maybe what are some of the challenges?
I think, if we're successful, it looks like mothers being able to raise their children. Just months ago, my teammate Tori passed away from complications of childbirth. Me and Tori, we won a gold medal together. And it just brings it right back to the forefront of how big this problem is and how it's going in the wrong direction. So, the need is, we're seeing it all over the place. That's been happening. It just happens that when it's someone close to you, you feel it more. And I hate that it takes that to bring this back to the forefront. But that's why we desperately all need to work together. But to me, that's what success is. It's families being able to be together.
Well, and you also have talked about how, although this is a known statistic and an issue, no one educated you. Your doctors didn't give you the right information or prepare you for this possibility.
Yeah, I didn't understand what preeclampsia was, and I didn't know that I was at a greater risk than white women to have it. I didn't know signs to look for, and even talking to my own family, they had experienced some of the swelling. My mom did, and, we just really didn't think twice about it. And so the awareness is huge, just to be able to know how to advocate for yourselves and that you might be in that situation. And it can be really intimidating to have to take that on, but I think it's the reality.
Yeah. So we've got a group of amazing people who've already impacted change in so many ways. How do you feel they can help accelerate the change you're driving?
I think we continue to have these conversations. We continue to bring them to the mainstream. And push that awareness. We have to do that together. We have to advocate for policy change, getting behind the Momnibus Act and pushing that forward, which is going to invest in more research and do the work that we need. And then I think the easy thing that we all can do here today is amplify Black voices. Tell the story of mothers, of healthcare providers, of people who are trying to do important work in this space, because in one sense, it's heartbreaking that so many of these complications and these deaths are preventable, but I think it's also hopeful. The statistic is something like 80% of them are. And so we can do something about it, and I think that that's a great place that every single person can contribute to.
Well, thank you for your insights and the work you're doing.